Hey y'all, quick video. I wanted to do a vlog today, but life did not allow it to be so. Also, be kind to me. No makeup, no time for threading. Let me rock my mustache in peace. But I wanted to talk about a few things that have crossed my mind. Sorry for the lighting. I guess a brief marathon post-cold recap. Sorry. Some thoughts. First of all, if you haven't noticed, like my postings and my pictures, I had a fantastic time during my half marathon. It was just an awesome experience. Vegas was awesome. The people were awesome. And it felt good to move my body and know that I could. I think the biggest theme for the race was trust. Learning to trust again. I thought about and it's weird because in my training that didn't come out. I had a lot of doubt for the first time in my life. Just really feeling like I'm not sure what this body can do. And it's doing it, but I don't feel secure, which I talked about previously. But I forgot that my coaches always said to trust your training. And it didn't, oddly enough, it didn't even come into my mind until the race. During the race. Because I was having such odd soreness, just pain I don't normally have. And not an injury, but just odd pain. And when I tell you I ran that race, and I didn't have any pain. I didn't have any soreness. If I had trained, the way my body felt, if I had trained an additional month, I could have done the full, no issue. Which was in stark contrast to how I was feeling during my training. No amount of mileage could make me feel comfortable about the next mile. And that was all out the window during the race. And, there were other things that led to the feeling, things that, were stressful to me at the time. Just when I tell you Vegas shuts down for that race, it shuts down. You're 5 minutes away from the starting line, and an hour is not enough for you to get to the race, to get to the starting line. So I was like, oh shit. I was prepared if I did a DNF. I didn't want to, but I knew it was a possibility. And then I even arrived with enough time that if I just didn't feel strong enough, I would do the 5K instead the day prior. But it never occurred to me I might not make the race. Thankfully I did. And if I'm honest, I ran my ass off to get to the starting line. I didn't even know I had that much energy left in my body. But all goes to say that I had a fantastic time. The things I look at for my body now and my mind is that it wasn't so much that the 13.1 miles even really affected my body. It was how it affects my brain and how my interests have changed, I thought, I always wanted to run that race. Run at night with all the lights and everything. But by mile 10, I could give a shit about the lights. I wasn't even really tired. I was just like, this isn't mentally stimulating enough for me at this point, and I need to consider that for anything or any races I do in the future. So I have a vending machine here. It's a little noisy, so apologies. So, you know, it was interesting to see how that shifted for me and how that will change if I do, not if, I know I want to do more races, more races in the future. And that if I do a full marathon, I need to be very deliberate in terms of what my needs are for the location. So that's a new thing. You know, it's new in terms of how much my mind plays a part in things like this now, and how it's a priority. I don't want to put my mind through anything that's not enjoyable. But, you know, that goes to say that you really, if you give yourself some time, sometimes it's not so much that you're falling apart, you're just shifting to another place. And so I'm never going to go back to maybe how I used to do things, but that's okay. There's a new way and I'm learning it. So, with that being said, you know, you guys know I'm losing my footing. Give me 1 second. All right. There we go. We're back in track. So when I got home, again, I got super, super ill. If you've been on my Instagram, you probably know that I want to do this a different way. There we go. I mean, unbelievably. And it wasn't even the flu, y'all, but like I told my moms, it was so bad, the flu might have been a better choice. But, you know, as I believe, sometimes these illnesses or these sicknesses, they're just not related to the body, they're body, mind, spirit. And it doesn't get lost on me that my sickness was in my throat chakra, and that my stomach was affected, my solar plexus chakra. And for those highly sensitive folks, you may be able to relate. I know down to the minute I got sick, I felt it like come into my body down to the minute. So that was some shit. But I was noticing while my body felt very, very, very weak, and I couldn't move, and I had lost my voice, I was feeling very spiritually strong, very clear on what's next and what I need. And what I need, you know, I've been doing my best to try to heal myself, you know, but healing is not linear and healing is continuous. But that doesn't mean that you're not healed. And it's come to me that I always felt like I spoke up for myself and I stood up for myself. But in a way, I wasn't doing it in the way that was most healthy for me. You know, I was prepared for confrontation. I was prepared to speak my needs, but there was always a way in it that was like war, and that I always had to be prepared for war. And that I'm always proving and fighting against something. I've spoken a bit about this in the past, but now it's clear to me that I don't have to be at war with anything. I know what I need, and when I don't know, and I search within myself, and I search within the things that I think align with what feels necessary for me. But I can just speak my needs, because one of the things that is troublesome for me is that I love to stand up for myself or speak my piece, but I do not like for others to feel hurt. And it might be, like childhood trauma, adolescent trauma, where everyone tells you, oh, you're blunt, you're too much, you're too harsh, and you internalize that. Are you blunt? Or are people just uncomfortable with dealing with whatever reality is presented in front of them? When, I was told that it became so important to me that I protect everyone's feelings, which, there's nothing fundamentally wrong with that, but I started doing it and I wasn't protecting my own. And so, you speak harshly of yourself, or you don't say your truth because you say that person can't handle it. And I've read this from someplace too. It's probably Hasneya or Srimati. You're doing a disservice to those people when you say they can't handle it. You infantilize them. And I'm not going to do that anymore. Because if I say I love them and I honor them and I care about them, then I know that they are capable. And I know that whether consciously or not, they might not want to see me hurting. And I hurt when I choose to protect them over myself. So it became clear that I need to speak, and I need to move, and I need to create, and I need to do it no matter what, no matter who feels threatened. And threatened because, sometimes you're living your life and people just feel threatened because they want to know why you're not as afraid as they are, or why you're not doubting as much as they are. And don't get it twisted, I probably am, but I'm just much more afraid of feeling stagnant and not moving because of my fear and my doubts. So that's what I learned through my moment of not feeling well. Then the other thing, as I'm at the gym right now, the gym in my home, I am going to sign up for a gym membership outside. I have one someplace else, but one closer to where I spend more time during the week. And I'll eventually get a trainer. These things are big for me because it came like water. Before I used to be like, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this. And I don't really move like that anymore. I wait for the thing to feel like water. And that it's not a response to anything. So the funny thing about being ill or seriously ill in the past is that when you feel better, it takes a long time to feel better in your entire body, or to feel like you can rely on your body, that your wellness makes sense. Because your body or your mind will do anything to say, it was just a glitch for why you felt okay today. Or, I don't know, it was a fluke. You lucked out, So I trained 3 months for the half marathon. And I ran the half marathon, had a great time. But I don't feel like I can move my body well on a regular basis. Like if someone said, oh, you want to take a 2-hour dance class today? I'd be like, nah, I don't have the stamina for that. Which, if I'm honest, In most cases, I don't. My body's still really relearning that. But it's a funny thing how you kind of begin to compartmentalize wellness, even if it's happening for you. Or you feel afraid because Saturday you have tons of energy, and then Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you have none. So you may know that, and I've discussed that I was sick for a couple of years. And, you know, a few times you've probably heard me say, I think I'm on the mend. And then I wasn't. Now I really feel on the mend. So this is the thing. With what I was dealing with, put on a lot of weight. Unbelievable for myself. And it was weird because it wasn't like me eating a lot or eating too much or anything else. It was just being unable to move and medication dealing with your not maybe being the best mix for your metabolism. So long story short, because I want to be transparent for myself, not really, you know, no shade, but not really for you guys. I don't care how you feel about it. It's more that me being unafraid of saying the things is that I was gained over 50 pounds. So for the first time in my life, it's just, not only was I putting on weight, but it wasn't weight I could carry. I was always tired or needing to rest. But then, you know, and then getting depressed about it because I won't say I've struggled with my weight because that's not really a fair statement. I struggle with my weight in the sense that there's a certain weight I've always wanted to be and that I would fight for it. Never really that I was big. I was never big. So, you know, it was tough. Like even when I first started training, it's about 153 pounds. And I wanted to lose more. You know, my sweet spot for me was about 145, which puts me at about a size 4, a full 4 or a very small 6. And, you know, that was in 2011. And once I decided it felt right to do this half marathon, I just trained for it. I wasn't running really nearly as much as I could and not on a consistent basis. So I was like, if I can do 6 miles and not die, then we can officially train. But the point is, I get to the race, I have a great time. I come home, no injuries, no soreness, like I didn't even do it, like I was chilling. So praise be to training. But my point is that I'm 7 years older and over 50 pounds heavier. So it's time for me to stop telling my body what to do and start listening to it. Because I said, body, can I do this half marathon? And the body said, all right. Can I do it over 50 pounds heavier than I was when I first started training? My body said, let's do it. I said, can I do it 7 years older? My body said, let's do it. I said, can I do it after having been so sick? My body said, let's do it. Now, within that whole time, I've been saying, yo, I'm so fucking fat. It makes me so depressed. Oh, it hurts so bad. And I couldn't think about, you know, going to the gym on a regular basis. Also, schedule things have made it more of a possibility. And then I wasn't strong enough to even consider having a trainer because I just didn't have the stamina. And today I realized, like, yo, my body was like, I've shown you, I'll be here with you if you need me to be, but you gotta believe it. And it finally clicked. So I'm looking forward to that. Because shit, what else can I ask from it? It done showed up for me. It told me it's here for me. And that no amount of shame or embarrassment or anything is going to deter that. Because let's keep it 100. I've never had a body like this before. And, you know, feeling afraid, like not wanting people to see me, not wanting to be seen, you know, shit is not healthy. And it's not fair to myself. And it's not fair to myself for all I've overcome and all I'm continuing to overcome. So I guess this video is just like an ode to believing and doing and honoring and thanking the whole connection, the mind, body, spirit. And not taking no shit and not having to fight to not take any shit. And knowing that your words are enough and you are perfect when you have all the makeup on and your wig on and your hair out and your fro out, and you are perfect with no makeup on and your mustache and your hair not done and you're being sweaty and being chunky and being whatever. It's all good. So that's the point, it's all good. Let's start ending 2018 knowing it's all good. And that in 2019, it'll be even better, you know, and honor ourselves and our gifts. I think I'm pretty good at vlogging, you know, but sometimes I get self-conscious and I stop making them. Not gonna do that anymore. Just gonna do this shit and hope for the best. And when it works, it works. And when it doesn't, it doesn't. And know that it's all good. So I leave you with that. And I wish you well. And I hope you have a fantastic week, and we will talk soon. One love. Peace.